My brother stole the $3,000 I saved for my kids' Christmas, said you spoil them anyway, then bought a gaming PC. Now he's panicking because I filed a police report and his wife left him Christmas morning. Kids got their gifts, he got charges. My brother emptied my bedroom safe while I was getting the kids from school, and when I confronted him he shrugged and said those brats don't need 12 presents each. The safe was hidden in my closet behind a false panel. I'm the only one with the combination. Or I thought I was, until I came home Tuesday and found it hanging open with $3,000 in cash gone. $3,000 I've been saving all year in 20s and 50s to make Christmas special for my kids after their dad bailed on us last January. I knew immediately it was my brother. He's the only person who's been in my house recently, and he has a history of this kind of thing. When our grandfather died, he stole mom's jewelry from the estate before anyone could inventory it. Sold it at a pawn shop for drug money. That was 5 years ago. He's been clean for 3 years now, married, working at a warehouse. I actually believed he'd changed. I called him right there standing in front of the empty safe. He answered on the second ring. What's up? Where's my money? Silence. Then, I don't know what you're talking about. The $3,000 that was in my safe. The safe you somehow knew about and got into. Where is it? He actually laughed. Oh, that. Yeah, I borrowed it. Borrowed. I'll pay you back. Calm down. You stole $3,000 from me 5 days before Christmas and you want me to calm down? Look, you spoil those kids anyway. They don't need all that crap. I needed it more. I couldn't even speak for a minute. My vision literally went fuzzy. Needed it for what? That's my business. Bring my money back right now or I'm calling the cops. Go ahead. You can't prove anything. Then he hung up. I sat on my bedroom floor and cried for probably 20 minutes. Then I got up, drove to the police station, and filed a report. The officer who took my statement was sympathetic but realistic about the chances of getting the money back. Even if we can prove he took it, if he spent it, there's not much we can do immediately, she said. But we'll investigate. Do you have any proof the money existed? I did. I'd been depositing my tips from my weekend waitressing job and photographing the safe contents every few weeks, partly for insurance purposes and partly because I'm paranoid. I showed her the photos going back 8 months. You could see the cash building up, the stacks getting thicker. She nodded. This helps. We'll talk to him. I went home and told my kids we might have a smaller Christmas than planned. My daughter, who's 9, just hugged me and said it was okay. That made me cry again. 2 days later, my brother's wife called me. Did you really call the cops on him? He stole $3,000 from me. He said you gave him permission to borrow it. That's a lie. Check your bank account. Check your credit cards. Check everywhere, because I guarantee he spent my money on something. She went quiet. Then, I'll call you back. She called back an hour later, crying. He bought a gaming computer. Top of the line everything. It's in our spare room. He told me his Christmas bonus came early. His Christmas bonus was my kids' presents. I'm so sorry. I'm bringing it back to the store right now. I'll get you the money. The police are already involved. Please don't press charges. Please. He'll lose his job. We'll lose the apartment. He should have thought of that before he robbed me. She kept crying but I hung up. I felt bad for her but not bad enough. My brother made his choice. Christmas Eve, his wife called again. I returned everything. I have $2,847. The restocking fees took the rest. I can bring it to you right now. Keep it for yourself, I said. You're going to need it. What? You're married to a thief. That's not going to change. Get out while you can. She started crying again and hung up. Christmas morning, my kids woke up to a decent Christmas. Not 12 presents each, but I'd used my emergency credit card and my mom chipped in. They were happy. That's what mattered. Around 11 a.m., my brother started blowing up my phone. 15 calls in 20 minutes. I finally answered. You ruined my life. He was screaming. Absolutely screaming. The cops came to my work yesterday. My boss saw. I'm suspended pending investigation. And my wife left. She took half our money and left. You mean she took half of your money? The money you didn't steal from me. This is insane. Over some cash. Family doesn't do this to family. You're right. Family doesn't steal Christmas from kids. But you did. I'm going to be charged with a felony. Do you understand that? A felony? Good. How can you say that? Pretty easily actually. I hung up. He kept calling. I blocked him. Then my mom called. You need to drop the charges. No. He's your brother. He made a mistake. He's made mistakes his whole life and nobody ever makes him face consequences. That's why he keeps doing it. If he gets convicted he'll never get another decent job. Maybe he should have thought about that before he stole from his niece and nephew. You're being vindictive. I'm being a mom. He chose a gaming computer over my kids' Christmas. He doesn't get to walk away from that. She hung up on me. That was 3 days ago. The investigation is ongoing. My brother's wife filed for divorce and moved back with her parents. He's probably going to lose his job even if the charges get dropped, which I've been told is unlikely since I have photos and he literally had the stolen goods in his possession. My kids had a good Christmas. They don't know any of this happened. But now my entire family is calling me heartless and telling me I'm destroying my brother's life over money that I would have spent anyway. My mom won't talk to me. My aunt called me cruel. Even my dad, who usually stays out of everything, sent me a text saying I should show mercy. But when I look at my kids and think about how my brother was going to let them wake up Christmas morning to nothing so he could have a better graphics card, I don't feel merciful. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted. Am I a butthole? The detective assigned to my case called me 4 days after Christmas and asked if I could come down to the station to give a formal statement because my brother was claiming I'd given him the combination under duress. I actually laughed into the phone. Duress? From who? He's saying you're an alcoholic and you asked him to hold the money so you wouldn't spend it on drinking, then changed your mind and got mad when he wouldn't give it back. I sat down on my kitchen floor. My kids were at school. I had the house to myself and suddenly I felt very, very tired. I don't drink. I haven't had alcohol since my ex left because I can't afford it and I'm raising 2 kids alone. Does he have any proof of this? No. But we need your statement on record. Can you come in today? I went in that afternoon. Gave my statement. Showed them my bank records, my work schedule, everything. The detective, a woman probably in her 50s with kind eyes, looked at everything and then looked at me. Your brother has a prior theft conviction from 2019. I nodded. The jewelry thing. From our mom. He also has 2 DUIs and a possession charge. All before he got married. She tapped her pen on the folder. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand that this isn't going to trial. He's going to take a plea deal. And when he does, you need to be prepared for your family to blame you for whatever sentence he gets. They already blame me. It's going to get worse. She was right. 2 days later my brother took a plea deal. 6 months in county jail, 3 years probation, restitution of $3,000 plus court costs. His sentencing hearing was set for mid-January. My mom called me while I was at work. I stepped outside into the freezing cold to take the call because I knew what was coming. He's going to jail because of you. He's going to jail because he committed a felony. You could have just taken the money back from his wife. You didn't have to involve the police. Mom, he stole from my children. From his niece and nephew. What part of that are you okay with? I'm not okay with any of it, but family handles things privately. Like you handled it privately when he stole grandma's jewelry? How'd that work out? Did he stop stealing? She was quiet for a long moment. Then, don't come to Sunday dinner anymore. I can't look at you right now. That hurt more than I expected. Sunday dinners had been our thing since I was a kid. Even after the divorce, even when money was tight, I'd make the effort to go because it mattered to my mom. And now I wasn't welcome because I wouldn't let my brother rob me. Fine, I said, and hung up. My daughter noticed I was crying when I picked them up from school. She's perceptive like that. What's wrong? Grandma and I had a fight. About what? Adult stuff. It's okay. She held my hand the whole drive home. Didn't say anything, just held it. That's when I knew I'd done the right thing, even if it cost me my family. My brother's wife, ex-wife now I guess since she filed, called me a week later. I need to ask you something and I need you to be honest. Okay. Did he ever steal from you before? Before the Christmas thing? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Maybe. I don't know. Money would go missing sometimes when he'd visit but I could never prove it. Why? I've been going through our finances since I moved out. There's $8,000 missing from our savings account. He withdrew it in chunks over 3 months. When I asked him about it he said it was for house repairs but we rent and our landlord handles all that. My stomach dropped. Do you think he has a drug problem again? I don't know what to think anymore. I just know I married someone I don't recognize. I'm sorry, I said, and I meant it. She didn't deserve this. Don't be. You probably saved me from worse. If he'd steal from his sister's kids, what would he have done to our kids if we'd had any? After she hung up I just sat there thinking about that. About how my brother had gotten worse, not better. About how everyone had been enabling him for years by letting things slide, by handling it privately, by giving him second chances. And I'd been part of it too until he crossed a line I couldn't ignore. My aunt came by unannounced 3 days before his sentencing. She let herself in with the key I'd given her years ago for emergencies. I was making dinner, the kids were doing homework at the table. Can we talk outside? She asked. I followed her onto the porch. It was dark already, cold. She was shaking but I don't think it was from the temperature. I need you to write a letter to the judge asking for leniency. No. He's going to jail. Your brother is going to jail. I know. How can you be so cold about this? I'm not cold. I'm just done. Done protecting him from consequences. Done pretending his problems are everyone else's fault. Done sacrificing my kids so he can keep getting away with things. This will destroy him. He destroyed himself. I'm just the one who finally stopped pretending otherwise. She left without saying goodbye. I went back inside. My son asked who that was and I told him his aunt had stopped by to borrow something. He went back to his math homework like nothing had happened. Because for him, nothing had. His world was safe. That's all that mattered. The sentencing hearing was yesterday. I didn't go but my mom did. She called me after, absolutely hysterical. He cried. He stood there in front of the judge and cried and begged and they still gave him 6 months. That's what the plea deal was. You could have stopped this. You could have written a letter. The prosecutor said victim impact statements matter. They do matter. That's why I didn't write one asking for leniency. What? I wrote one. I told the judge exactly what he did and exactly how it affected my children. I told them about my daughter hugging me and saying a small Christmas was okay. I told them about using my emergency credit card and going into debt to replace what he stole. I told them everything. The silence on the other end was deafening. Then, I will never forgive you for this. I can live with that, I said, and hung up. My brother started his sentence this morning. My mom sent me a text with a photo of him in handcuffs being led away. No words, just the photo. I deleted it. Blocked her number. Blocked my aunt's number. Blocked everyone who'd spent the last month telling me I was destroying my family. My kids are doing great. They don't know any of this happened. They just know we had a good Christmas and mom's been in a better mood lately. That's enough. But I keep thinking about what my mom said. About forgiveness. About family. And part of me wonders if standing up for myself and my kids really had to cost me everyone else. I got served with papers yesterday. My brother is suing me for defamation and emotional distress because apparently the victim impact statement I gave at his sentencing is now public record and someone from his job found it and shared it around. His lawyer called me first, 3 days ago. Left a voicemail saying I had maliciously destroyed my brother's reputation and career prospects by providing false and inflammatory statements to the court. I deleted it. Then the papers showed up at my house while I was at work. My neighbor signed for them and brought them over looking concerned. Everything okay? She asked when I opened the envelope on my porch. Family stuff, I said. She nodded and left. I read through the whole thing standing there in the cold. He's claiming I lied about the amount stolen, lied about him having a history of theft, and intentionally caused him to lose his job by making statements I knew would become public. He wants $50,000 in damages. I called the detective who handled my case. She sounded tired when she answered. Let me guess. He's suing you. How did you know? Because he threatened to do it at sentencing. Said you'd pay for ruining his life. The judge told him that wasn't how any of this works, but he clearly didn't listen. Can he actually win? No. Truth is an absolute defense to defamation. Everything you said in that statement is documented and provable. His lawyer knows that. This is a harassment suit, meant to drain you financially and emotionally. Don't engage without your own lawyer. I can't afford a lawyer. I'm still paying off the credit card debt from Christmas. But I called around anyway and found someone who does free consultations. She looked at the papers, looked at me, and said, this is garbage. Complete garbage. But you still have to respond or he wins by default. I can take this pro bono if you're willing to countersue for the cost of defending yourself. Can I do that? Absolutely. And I think we should. This is textbook frivolous litigation. So now I'm countersuing my brother. My lawyer filed the response 2 days ago. His lawyer called her immediately trying to negotiate a withdrawal of both suits. She told him no. We're going forward and we're asking for attorney fees, court costs, and sanctions for filing a baseless suit. My phone has been exploding ever since. My mom, my aunt, cousins I haven't talked to in years. All of them screaming at me for being vindictive, for kicking my brother while he's down, for trying to destroy what's left of his life. My mom left a voicemail that I listened to once and then saved because I might need it later. You've already put him in jail. You've already ruined his marriage and his job. Now you want to take money from him? What is wrong with you? What kind of person does this to family? The kind who's tired of being stolen from, I wanted to say. But I didn't call her back. My brother's ex-wife called me yesterday morning. I almost didn't answer but something made me pick up. I need to tell you something, she said. No greeting, just straight into it. When I was going through our stuff after I moved out, I found a second phone. Hidden in the garage in a toolbox. Okay. It had texts on it. From our landlord. About rent. My stomach started to hurt. What about rent? We haven't paid rent in 4 months. He told me it was handled, that he'd set up autopay. But he's been pocketing my half of the rent money and not paying anything. We're being evicted. The landlord's been trying to reach us for weeks but he blocked the number on our regular phones and only responded on this burner. Why would he do that? I think he was planning to disappear. Take whatever money he could get and just leave. The gaming computer, the missing savings, your Christmas money, my rent payments. He was stockpiling cash. For what? I don't know. Maybe drugs again. Maybe just to run. But he had almost $15,000 in cash hidden in that garage. In a duffel bag under some paint cans. I sat down. Did you tell the police? I told his probation officer. She's filing a violation report. Having unexplained cash violates his plea agreement. He's supposed to report all income and assets. He's already in jail. They can add time. Or revoke his probation completely when he gets out and send him back. After she hung up I just sat there thinking about how much worse this could have been. If I hadn't filed that police report. If I'd let him get away with it like everyone wanted. How much more would he have stolen before he disappeared? My daughter came home from school and found me crying at the kitchen table. Again. I'm trying not to do this in front of them but sometimes it just happens. Mom, what's wrong? Nothing, baby. Just stressed about work stuff. She didn't believe me. She's too smart for that. But she hugged me anyway and then went to do her homework. I heard her tell her brother to be quiet because Mom was sad. That hurt worse than anything my family had said. The probation violation hearing is next week. My brother's lawyer withdrew from the defamation suit yesterday. Just sent a one-line email to my lawyer saying he was no longer representing my brother in this matter. My lawyer says that means my brother probably can't pay him anymore and can't find anyone else willing to take a case this stupid. We're still moving forward with the countersuit. My lawyer says we'll likely win sanctions, which means the court will order him to pay my legal fees even though I'm not paying anything. It goes on his record as a punishment for abusing the legal system. My mom somehow found out about the probation violation. She called me from my aunt's phone since I blocked her number. I answered thinking it was my aunt. You told his probation officer about the money? I didn't. His ex-wife did. Because you turned her against him. I didn't turn her against anyone. I told her the truth and she made her own choices. He's going to end up back in prison for years because of you. No, he's going to end up back in prison because he violated his probation. Because he had unexplained cash, which suggests he's dealing again or planning to run. That's on him. I hope you're happy. I hope destroying your brother makes you feel powerful. It doesn't make me feel anything except tired. I'm tired of this. Tired of defending myself for refusing to be a victim. Tired of being told I'm the problem when all I did was refuse to let him rob my kids. Those kids would be fine without all those presents. But your brother won't be fine in prison. Then maybe he should have thought about that before he became a criminal. She hung up. I blocked my aunt's number too. My son asked me yesterday if we were still going to grandma's for Easter. I realized I hadn't even thought about holidays anymore. About what happens next with family events and birthdays and all the normal things that used to happen before this. I don't think so, baby. Because of the fight? Yeah. Is it a big fight? Pretty big. He thought about this. Will you make up? I wanted to say yes. Wanted to promise him that families always work things out and love conquers all and everything would be okay. But I'm done lying to protect other people's feelings. I don't know. Maybe not. He nodded and went back to his video game. Like it didn't matter. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe he's better off without people who think stealing from him is less important than protecting the person who did it. The probation hearing is in 4 days. My lawyer says I don't have to attend, but I think I'm going to. I want to see his face when they tell him he's violated the terms of his release. I want him to know I'm there. That I'm not backing down. That he picked the wrong person to steal from. But part of me keeps wondering if my mom is right. If I'm just being vindictive now. If at some point this stopped being about justice and started being about punishment. The probation officer called my brother's ex-wife as a witness and she brought bank statements showing he'd been stealing her rent money for 6 months, not 4. Turns out he'd been telling her the landlord raised the rent and pocketing the difference since last summer. I sat in the back of the courtroom watching him try to explain it away. He wore the orange jumpsuit from county and his hair was greasy, unwashed. He kept looking around like he was searching for someone who'd help him. His eyes passed right over me twice before he realized I was there. When he saw me, his whole face changed. Went from desperate to furious in about 2 seconds. He actually pointed at me and said to the judge, "She's the reason I'm here. She started all this." The judge didn't even look up from the paperwork. "Mr. Wilson, you're here because you violated the terms of your probation by failing to report assets and income. Your sister has nothing to do with that. She turned everyone against me. My wife left because of her. Your wife left because you stole her rent money. Sit down." The probation officer laid it all out. The $15,000 in cash. The burner phone. The unpaid rent. The gaming computer he'd bought with my money. She also mentioned that he'd been fired from his warehouse job after they found out about his conviction, and instead of reporting his unemployment like he was required to, he just stopped checking in altogether. Your Honor, Mr. Wilson has demonstrated a clear pattern of deception and financial misconduct. He's violated multiple terms of his probation agreement. The state recommends revocation and a sentence of 2 years in state prison. 2 years. I watched my brother's face go white. He started shaking his head like he could make it not true if he just disagreed hard enough. His public defender tried. Talked about rehabilitation and second chances and how my brother had addiction issues that needed treatment, not incarceration. The judge listened politely and then asked my brother directly if he was using again. No. I swear. I've been clean for 3 years. Then what was the $15,000 for? Silence. He just sat there. Couldn't answer because any answer would either be a lie or an admission of something worse. The judge revoked his probation. Sentenced him to 18 months in state prison. Could have been 2 years, but she gave him credit for time served and good behavior potential. He'll probably do a year if he keeps his head down. He screamed at me on his way out. The bailiff was walking him back through the side door and he twisted around and shouted, "I hope you're happy. I hope this was worth it." I didn't say anything. Just watched him go. His ex-wife caught up with me in the parking lot. She looked exhausted. "Thank you for coming. I needed to see it." "Me too." She wiped her eyes. "I keep thinking about what you said. About what he would have done if we'd had kids. I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad I found out now." We stood there in the cold for a minute, not talking. Then she said, "The landlord is suing me for the back rent. Almost $8,000. I gave him everything I got back from returning the computer, but it's not enough. I'm probably going to have to file bankruptcy. I'm sorry." "Don't be. You warned me. You told me to get out and I'm out. That's worth more than money." After she left, I sat in my car for a long time. I kept thinking about my brother's face when the judge said 18 months. The way his whole body seemed to collapse. And I waited to feel something. Guilt. Regret. Satisfaction. Anything. But I just felt tired. My daughter's teacher called me the next day and asked if I could come in for a conference. My stomach dropped immediately because that's never good news. I met with her after school. My daughter was in the library doing homework. The teacher, Ms. Rodriguez, had this concerned expression that made me want to cry before she even said anything. Has something been going on at home? Like what? Your daughter wrote a story for our creative writing assignment. It was about a girl whose family stops talking to her mom because the mom told the truth about something bad that happened. It was very detailed. Very emotional. It worried me. She showed me the story. 3 pages in my daughter's careful handwriting about a girl whose uncle steals money and whose grandmother chooses the uncle over the mom, and the girl doesn't understand why telling the truth is wrong. I started crying right there in the classroom. Couldn't help it. I'm sorry, I managed. We've had some family issues. I thought I was protecting her from it. Kids are perceptive. They pick up on more than we think. Ms. Rodriguez handed me a tissue. Is everyone safe? Yes. It's just drama. Adult stuff that got out of hand. Does she need to talk to the school counselor? I thought about that. About my daughter carrying this around, writing stories to process it because she didn't think she could talk to me. Maybe. Yeah. That might help. I picked her up from the library and we sat in the car before driving home. Your teacher showed me your story. She looked down at her hands. Am I in trouble? No, baby. Never. I just didn't realize you were so worried about the grandma stuff. I heard you crying. A lot. And I know you don't go to Sunday dinners anymore. And you blocked grandma's number because I saw it when you were texting. I'm sorry you had to see all that. Why doesn't grandma love us anymore? That broke something in me. She does love you. This isn't about you. It's about grown-up problems that got really messy. Because of what Uncle did? Yeah. He was wrong though. He stole from us. You always say stealing is wrong. It is wrong. Then why is grandma mad at you and not at him? I didn't have an answer for that. Still don't. My mom sent a letter to my house yesterday. Not a text or email or call. An actual letter. My son brought it in from the mailbox, confused because nobody sends letters anymore. I opened it at the kitchen table. It was 3 pages, handwritten. She blamed me for everything. For destroying the family. For being cruel and unforgiving. For choosing money over blood. For humiliating her in front of the extended family who all think she raised a vindictive daughter who sent her own brother to prison. The last paragraph said, when you're old and alone and your children have learned from your example that family means nothing, you'll understand what you've done. But it will be too late. I read it twice and then I put it in a drawer. Didn't respond. Didn't call. Just put it away. But it's been sitting in my head ever since. The idea that I'm teaching my kids the wrong lesson. That holding people accountable is the same as being unforgiving. That I should have just let it go. My lawyer says the countersuit is moving forward. My brother can't respond because he's in prison and can't afford a lawyer. We'll probably win by default and the court will order him to pay my legal fees. Which he can't do. So it would just be a judgment that sits there forever, unpaid. It's not about the money, my lawyer said. It's about the principle. About showing that you can't weaponize the legal system against someone who told the truth. But I'm starting to wonder if principle is enough. If being right matters when everyone you love thinks you're wrong. My brother got released early for good behavior after serving 9 months. I found out because he showed up at my house last Tuesday while I was putting groceries away. I heard the doorbell and opened it without checking because I was expecting a package. He was standing there in clothes that didn't fit right, probably borrowed, looking thinner than I'd ever seen him. We stared at each other for maybe 10 seconds before he said, "Can we talk?" "No. Please." 5 minutes. "You sued me for defamation while you were in prison. You screamed at me in a courtroom. You stole from my children. There's nothing to talk about. I know. I know I messed up. But I'm trying to make things right. How exactly are you planning to do that?" He pulled out an envelope from his jacket. "I got a job. Construction. It's not much, but I'm putting together payment plans for everything I owe. Your restitution, the court fees, the rent money. All of it. I wanted you to know." I took the envelope but didn't open it. "That's great. Good for you. Now leave. I'm sorry. I need you to know that. I'm sorry for what I did to you and the kids." "Okay. Is that it? Just okay? What do you want from me? Forgiveness? Absolution? You stole Christmas from my kids and then tried to sue me when I held you accountable. You don't get to show up here 9 months later with a payment plan and act like that fixes anything." He stood there looking lost. "Mom said if I apologized you might give me another chance. Mom doesn't speak for me anymore. And you don't get another chance. You used them all up." I closed the door. He stood on the porch for another minute and then left. I watched through the window until his car disappeared down the street. The envelope had a payment schedule in it. $50 a month toward the $3,000 restitution. At that rate he'll be paying me until 2030. I filed it away with all the other legal paperwork from this nightmare. My daughter's been seeing the school counselor once a week since February. It's helped. She seems lighter somehow. Less worried. She asked me last week if we were going to see Grandma for Thanksgiving and I told her probably not. "That's okay," she said. "We can make our own traditions." So that's what we're doing. New traditions that don't involve people who think protecting a thief is more important than protecting victims. My mom sent me a card on my birthday last month. Just a card, no letter this time. She signed it Mom with no message. I don't know what that means. If it's an olive branch or just habit. I put it in the drawer with her letter and haven't looked at it since. The countersuit resolved in April. The judge sanctioned my brother $2,500 for filing a frivolous lawsuit. He can't pay it obviously. It's just another debt on his pile. My lawyer said we could pursue garnishment of his wages, but I told her not to bother. I'm done. The point was made. His ex-wife did file bankruptcy. She sent me a text in March letting me know, apologizing for not being able to testify if anything else came up. I told her she didn't owe me anything. She's rebuilding her life without him. That's enough. I ran into my aunt at the grocery store last week. We made eye contact across the produce section and she turned around and walked the other way. I finished my shopping and left. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. My kids are doing good. Better than good actually. My son made honor roll. My daughter joined the school play. They laugh more. Fight less. They don't ask about grandma or their uncle anymore. They've moved on in that way kids do when adults stop making drama their problem. I got a promotion at work in May. Better pay, better hours. I paid off the Christmas credit card debt in June. Started a new savings account in July. This time I keep it at the bank. Someone asked me last week if I regret how everything went down. If I wish I'd just let it go and kept the peace. And I thought about it. Really thought about it. I don't regret protecting my kids. I don't regret refusing to be a victim. I don't regret holding someone accountable even when everyone I loved told me I was wrong for doing it. What I regret is that it was necessary. That my own brother would steal from children. That my own mother would defend him for it. That my family would choose a thief over the person he victimized. I regret that standing up for myself cost me my family. But I don't regret standing up. My daughter asked me yesterday why some people think family means never holding each other accountable. I told her I didn't know. That some people believe love means accepting anything, no matter how wrong. But that's not love. That's enabling. So what is love then? She asked. Love is protecting the people who can't protect themselves. Even when it's hard. Even when everyone tells you you're wrong. She thought about that and then nodded. Like what you did for us. Yeah, baby. Like what I did for us. My brother will finish paying his restitution in 5 years. Maybe longer if he misses payments. We'll never have a relationship again. I'm okay with that. Some bridges should stay burned. My mom might reach out eventually. Or she might not. I've stopped waiting to find out. My family thinks I destroyed everything over money. They're wrong. It was never about the money. It was about teaching my kids that there are lines you don't cross. That theft is wrong. That betrayal has consequences. That sometimes the right thing is also the hard thing. And if that makes me the villain in their story, I can live with that. Because in my kids' story, I'm the person who fought for them when no one else would. That's enough.